They look like myths, but they're terrifyingly real. For centuries, stories have whispered about strange creatures, half legend, half nightmare. Some said they were spirits, others mistakes of evolution. But what if the truth is far stranger than the tales themselves? Hidden in the darkest corners of our planet, these beings walk, swim, and crawl, real, alive, and watching us back. In this episode, we journey through the mist between folklore and science to uncover 10 mysterious animals you've probably never heard of. Each one challenges what we think we know about nature. Creatures so strange they feel impossible, yet every one of them is real. Welcome to Animal Ranking Hub, the channel where we explore the most powerful, mysterious, and extraordinary creatures on Earth. Here, myths collide with biology, and every discovery brings us closer to the wildest secrets of our planet. If you love the unknown, if you're fascinated by the edge between reality and legend, this is where you belong. Because today, we're not just watching animals, we're uncovering living myths. Stay with us until the end. Some of the creatures you'll meet tonight have never been caught on camera before. And who knows, by the time this video ends, you might start to wonder, what else is still hiding in the shadows? Subscribe now and let's begin our descent into the world's most mysterious living beings. Number 1. Saola, the Asian unicorn. In the mist-covered mountains of Vietnam and Laos, local villagers once spoke of a ghostly creature that no one had ever seen clearly. They called it Saola, a name whispered like a prayer or a warning. Some believed it was a forest spirit, a guardian of the wild. Others said it was nothing more than an old legend told to children to keep them from wandering too deep into the jungle. But in 1992, everything changed. Deep in the remote forests of Vuquang, a team of scientists discovered something impossible. 2 long, straight horns mounted on a skull, unlike any known species. The world gasped. The mythical Saola was real. With the grace of an antelope and the mystery of a unicorn, the Saola became one of the rarest mammals on Earth. It is so elusive that scientists have never seen one alive in the wild. Hidden among bamboo forests, it leaves no trace, no tracks, no sound, only shadows and broken branches. Even today, only a few blurred photos exist. Some researchers call it the last mystery of Asia. For the people who live near its home, the legend still breathes. If you meet the Saola, they say, it's the forest that has chosen to reveal itself to you. Number 2. Goblin shark, the demon of the deep. For centuries, sailors told stories of monsters lurking in the dark beneath their ships. Creatures with long jaws, glowing eyes, and skin pale as death itself. They called them sea demons, guardians of the abyss. Most dismissed these tales as ocean madness. But the ocean, as it turns out, was hiding the truth all along. In 1898, off the coast of Japan, fishermen hauled up something that froze their blood. Its snout stretched forward like a blade. Its skin shimmered pink and translucent. And when it opened its mouth, a jaw shot out like a trap from a nightmare. Science had a name for it: Mitsukurina austoni, the goblin shark. This living fossil has barely changed for 125 million years, surviving in total darkness up to 1,300 meters below the surface. It moves slowly, almost ghost-like, until it strikes. In a flash, its jaws thrust forward, snatching prey in an instant, an ancient mechanism unseen in any other shark. Few humans have ever seen one alive. Each encounter feels like a message from prehistory, a reminder that our planet still holds places untouched by time. To witness the goblin shark is to stare straight into evolution's oldest nightmare, alive, real, and waiting in the dark. Number 3. Axolotl, the immortal of the Aztec gods. In the legends of the ancient Aztecs, there was a god named Axolotl, the twin of Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent. When Axolotl refused to die, he transformed into a strange creature that hid beneath the waters of the lakes around Tenochtitlan. It was said to be immortal, and for centuries, no one questioned whether the story was real. Then, scientists discovered the axolotl, a small, smiling creature with frilled gills and the face of eternal youth. They named it after the god himself. Unlike any other amphibian, the axolotl never grows up. It remains forever in its juvenile form, capable of regenerating lost limbs, spinal cords, even parts of its brain. When injured, its cells simply reset, rewriting the body as if death were optional. Today, axolotls exist only in the canals of Mexico City, descendants of the same waters where the Aztec gods once ruled. To locals, they're a living myth, a symbol of resilience and rebirth. To scientists, they are a key to unlocking the mysteries of regeneration, and perhaps, one day, immortality itself. The Aztecs believed Xolotl became the Axolotl to escape death. Maybe, after all these centuries, he still has. Number 4. Ai, the death spirit of Madagascar. In the villages of Madagascar, when the night grows silent and the moon hangs low, people whisper about a creature with glowing eyes and a hand that brings death. They call it Ai, the ghost of the forest. For generations, the legend has haunted them. They say if an Ai points its long, bony finger at you, your soul will be taken before dawn. So when villagers spot its eerie silhouette leaping from branch to branch, they flee, or worse, they hunt it down. But science tells a very different story. The Ai isn't a demon. It's a lemur, one of evolution's strangest masterpieces. That infamous finger isn't a curse, it's a tool. Thin as a twig, it taps on tree bark like a drumstick, listening for hollow echoes that reveal hidden insects. When it finds one, it pierces the wood and hooks the prey with surgical precision. No other primate on Earth hunts this way. Today, the Ai is endangered, persecuted by the very myths that gave it a name. Yet in its golden eyes, there's no malice, only mystery. Perhaps it's not death the Ai brings, but a reminder that even the strangest forms of life deserve to be seen for what they truly are. Number 5. Yeti crab, the furry ghost of the deep. For centuries, sailors spoke of the Yeti of the sea, a pale, hairy creature said to live where the light dies, crawling through underwater volcanoes and feeding on the heat of the earth itself. Most dismissed the stories as drunken hallucinations from men who had seen too many storms. But in 2005, the ocean whispered its truth. Nearly a mile beneath the surface of the South Pacific, scientists exploring hydrothermal vents saw something move. A pale figure, covered in silky white hair, glided across the boiling rocks. It was unlike anything ever recorded, a crab with fur. They named it Kiwa hirsuta, after the Polynesian goddess of shellfish. To this day, no one fully understands it. Those mysterious hairs on its claws aren't for warmth. They're alive, covered in bacteria that detoxify the deadly chemicals spewing from volcanic vents. The Yeti crab farms its own food in one of the harshest environments on the planet, down there where pressure could crush steel and darkness is eternal. This ghostly creature thrives, proof that life finds a way even in hell itself. When the footage first surfaced, some called it fake. But the Yeti crab is real, and it reminds us that the world's most otherworldly creatures aren't born from myth. They're born from Earth. Number 6. Dumbo octopus, the deep sea angel. Far below the reach of sunlight, 3,000 meters down, lies a world of silence and pressure, a place where nothing soft should survive. And yet, floating through that darkness is a creature so delicate, so impossibly gentle, it feels like a dream adrift in an abyss. They call it the Dumbo octopus, named for the tiny fins that flap like the ears of a flying elephant. For centuries, stories of sea angels filled the minds of sailors and poets, tales of glowing spirits that rose from the depths and vanished before dawn. When cameras finally captured one of these beings in 1999, the myth met reality, and it was even more beautiful than imagined. Unlike most octopuses, the Dumbo doesn't crawl or ink or hide. It hovers. It dances through the deep with slow, graceful motions, its translucent body pulsing like a heartbeat in the dark. Every movement looks choreographed, every curve alive with quiet poetry. Scientists call it Grimpatoothus, but its true name feels unspoken, something sacred. It lives where light cannot go, feeding in silence, surviving in peace. And perhaps that's why we find it so haunting. Because in the loneliest place on Earth, something so fragile chose not just to exist, but to be beautiful. Number 7, blue dragon, the ocean's tiny monster. For centuries, sailors returned from the open sea with tales of tiny dragons drifting on the waves, creatures shimmering blue and silver, as if carved from the sky itself. Many thought they were hallucinations, mirages born from salt and madness. But they were real. And like all legends, they were far more dangerous than they appeared. Meet the blue dragon, known to science as Glaucus atlanticus, a sea slug no longer than your finger, yet armed with one of the ocean's deadliest weapons. It drifts upside down across the water's surface, carried only by wind and current, its iridescent body flashing like liquid sapphire. It's beautiful, almost unreal. But beauty, in nature, often hides teeth. The blue dragon preys on Portuguese man-o'-war, jellyfish so venomous they can kill a human. Not only does it consume them, it steals their stinging cells, stores them in its own tissues, and uses them for defense. A creature smaller than a matchbox, weaponized by its prey. Those who have seen it describe it as otherworldly, a living gem adrift between heaven and death. And when the sunlight hits its wings just right, you understand why the sailors called it a dragon. Not because it breathes fire, but because it reminds us that even the tiniest beings can hold unimaginable power. Number 8. Olm, the blind dragon of the caves. Long ago, in the limestone caves of Slovenia, villagers believed dragons lived beneath their feet. When heavy rains flooded the caves, strange, pale creatures would wash up from the underground rivers, small, serpentine, with tiny limbs and ghostly skin. They called them baby dragons. To them, it was a sign that the monsters below were breeding. But science would later uncover the truth behind the myth. The baby dragon was real, just not the kind anyone imagined. It's called the Olm, a blind salamander that has lived in eternal darkness for more than 1 million years. With no need for sight, its eyes never developed. Its skin turned translucent, glowing faintly pink under the light. It breathes through gills, moves slowly, and can survive without food for up to 10 years. 10 years of waiting, in silence, in blackness. The Olm's world is a realm untouched by time. Cold, quiet, and endless. It sees the world through smell and vibration, detecting the faintest shift in the water around it. It doesn't need light to live. It is the light of its own world. So perhaps the villagers weren't entirely wrong. Maybe, in a way, the Olm is a dragon, not of fire and flight, but of mystery and endurance, born to guard the secrets hidden deep beneath the earth. Number 9. Pangolin, the armored ghost of the forest. In the folklore of Africa and Asia, there are stories of a shy, armored creature that walks like a ghost through the forest. Half mammal, half dragon. They said its scales were forged by the earth itself, and that its presence brought luck or doom depending on who found it. For centuries, few had ever seen one alive. To most, it was myth, but the pangolin is real. It moves silently on its hind legs, its body wrapped in thousands of overlapping scales made of keratin, the same material as human fingernails. When threatened, it doesn't run or fight. It curls into a perfect ball, an ancient defense perfected by millions of years of evolution. No claws, no teeth, just armor. And for a long time, that armor kept it safe, until humans found value in its scales. Today, the pangolin is the most trafficked mammal on Earth, hunted for myths of healing and protection. Ironically, the very legend that once made it sacred has now driven it to the edge of extinction. In the forests of night, when moonlight touches the leaves just right, you might glimpse one, slow, cautious, glimmering like a bronze relic from another world. A living paradox, fragile, yet armored, forgotten, yet vital. A creature of myth, still fighting to survive its own story. Number 10. Leafy sea dragon, the master of disguises. They called it the sea fairy. Divers who claimed to see it were mocked, accused of chasing hallucinations brought on by deep sea pressure and too little oxygen. A creature that looked like drifting seaweed? Impossible. But off the southern coast of Australia, in the cold, kelp-filled waters, the myth took form and swam. The leafy sea dragon, a cousin of the seahorse, is one of the ocean's most extraordinary illusions. Its body is covered in delicate, leaf-like appendages that sway with the current, making it nearly invisible among the seaweed. No armor, no speed, no weapons, just perfect camouflage. When you watch one move, it doesn't swim. It floats, carried by invisible currents, every movement slow and deliberate, like a living painting. It doesn't hide from predators. It simply becomes part of its world. Even its reproduction defies expectations. The male carries the eggs, gently protecting them until they hatch. In a realm where survival often means aggression, the leafy sea dragon endures through stillness and beauty. To see one in the wild is to question your own eyes. Is it plant or animal? Dream or reality? Perhaps both. For in the leafy sea dragon, nature blurs the line between existence and imagination, reminding us that sometimes the most unbelievable creatures are the ones that are real. 10 creatures, 10 stories once whispered as legends. Each one a reminder that the line between myth and reality is far thinner than we imagine. From the Saola's hidden grace in the misty jungles of Vietnam to the goblin shark's prehistoric jaws in the dark, to the leafy sea dragon drifting like a dream beneath the waves, every one of them proves that truth in nature is often stranger than fiction. We once created monsters to explain the unknown. But the more we explore, the more we realize the monsters were real all along. They were simply misunderstood, guardians of secrets we weren't ready to see. Even now, there are forests unwalked, caves unlit, and oceans unexplored. Somewhere in that endless shadow, other legends are waiting. Creatures that science hasn't named, eyes that have never met the light. Maybe, as we uncover the mysteries of this planet, we're not just learning about animals, we're rediscovering our own wonder. The same curiosity that once birthed myths now drives discovery. And that is where myth becomes truth. If you've enjoyed this journey through nature's greatest mysteries, subscribe to Animal Ranking Hub and join us as we continue exploring the strange, the powerful, and the unseen. Because the world is far from ordinary, and the next legend might still be alive.